What's going on? In today's video, I'm going to reveal the truth about cheat meals for basketball players. Are they good? Are they bad? Should you include them in your diet? What is the right call there? Find out in today's video. This is a question I've been getting a lot in my Instagram DMs, and usually when I get a question quite frequently, it's a sign that I need to make a video on it. So here we are, and like I said in the intro, today we're going to be discussing cheat meals. Are they good? Are they bad? Should you include them? Should you not? What is the right call there? And what we're going to do is go through 3 things you need to consider when kind of weighing whether or not cheat meals are something you should do or not. And I think throughout this video, it'll become pretty self-evident where I stand on cheat meals and whether or not you should include them or not. But hopefully the 3 points that I bring up will help you come to your conclusion and really get to the bottom of whether or not you should be including cheat meals in your nutrition plan. The first thing we need to look at when deciding whether or not you should be including cheat meals in your diet is the reality that usually when you have these cheat meals or certain days or meals where you purposely go overboard and just kind of let loose, it usually leads to an environment of restriction the rest of the time. And what happens when you restrict things? Well, you're gonna run into an issue where you restrict super hard, then you feel the need to overdo it, or you have these weird cravings. For example, if I were to tell you right now that avocados were the worst food on the planet and you can never have them again, even if you never really liked avocados that much, maybe you enjoy them a little bit, it's like, yeah, cool, I can go for some guac. But like, if I tell you to not ever have them again and they're terrible for you, I can almost guarantee you in a couple of days, you're gonna have some weird cravings for avocados. So when you go and say, okay, I love pizza, but I'm only gonna have it on this one specific meal throughout the week, it's completely off limits the rest of the week. There's no possibility that I can ever have this unless it's on my cheat day or on my cheat meal. What usually happens? That craving for pizza builds up and builds up and builds up and builds up. And on that cheat day, what happens? You go order a large pizza from Domino's, down that, maybe 2 pizzas, who knows, depending on how much you like pizza. But the point is, instead of just being able to have 2 slices, 3 slices and move on with your life, it leads to this environment of you restricted so long and you want this pizza so badly and you don't know when you're gonna have it again, that you completely overdo it. And that could sabotage your goals really quickly, especially if you're in a fat loss phase, but also if you're trying to perform really well or build muscle. Cheat meals can get pretty messy pretty quickly. That's one thing you need to consider when deciding, okay, should I include these, should I not? The second thing, kind of building off that, is when you overdo it like that, like many people do with their cheat meals, you end up feeling like crap. And that usually bleeds over into the next day, next couple days, even the next week. And a lot of times what you'll see happen is you go way overboard one day, you have the pizza and the ice cream with a side of soda, and the next day you wake up feeling like crap, so you're just like, screw it, I'm just gonna have that again, I'm gonna go off the walls again. And it leads to this downward cycle. And you just really want to avoid that because that can ruin your nutrition plan, ruin your goals really quickly. And on top of that, when you feel like crap going into that next week, because usually when do people cheat? They usually have these cheat meals on Saturdays or Sundays. Then you start Monday off feeling like crap and you're not going to get the most out of your training. You're not going to get the most out of your schoolwork or your practice or whatever you're doing that needs your full attention and needs you to be performing optimally. You're not going to be able to do that because you just went completely overboard on the weekend and now you're feeling the consequences of that. Versus just being allowed to have pizza whenever you want, so that way you don't feel the need to have 2 large pizzas in one sitting. You can have the 2 slices, move on, and feel totally fine after that. And then real quick, before we get into the third thing you need to consider, if you're enjoying the video, I'd really appreciate it if you drop a like and subscribe if you're new around here. And the third thing, and perhaps the most important thing out of the 3, is if you're on a nutrition plan, it shouldn't really feel like you're on a nutrition plan. You should be able to have your favorite foods. Of course, moderation is key, and we'll get to this real quick in the solution to this whole thing. Moderation is key, but you shouldn't feel like you can never have pizza. You shouldn't feel like you can never have ice cream. You shouldn't feel like you can never have soda. I'm not a huge fan of soda, but like if you want it, you should be able to have it in moderation. And if you have this mentality of cheat meals and cheat days and adhering to those sorts of guidelines, what did we talk about earlier in the video? It leads to that restriction, and also you're not going to enjoy your nutrition plan. You might be all gung-ho about it the first week and when you start seeing results, but at a certain point, especially when you hit a plateau, that enthusiasm is going to drop off a cliff. And if you're in a situation where you're not seeing results and you're eating chicken, rice, and broccoli at every meal, and you're not able to have your favorite foods, you're not going to enjoy that. And as a result, you're probably going to fall off and end up right back at square one. So in order to see real lasting results with your nutrition plan as a basketball player, get stronger, faster, more explosive, really have that breakout year, you got to have a plan that you enjoy sticking to, because when you stick to it, that's when you create those type of results. You don't create those type of results in 1 week, 2 weeks. You create those type of results over the course of months, years of consistency. And how else are you gonna stick to a plan for that long if you don't like it? So now, how do we fix this? How do we get you in a position where you can have these favorite foods without feeling the need to go overboard? What are the guidelines? Because I don't want to just say have pizza and ice cream whenever you want, because then that could lead to some issues in and of itself. So how do we go about this responsibly without feeling like you're restricting yourself? What I like to implement is what's called the 80-20 rule. That's the idea that 80% of the time, roughly 80% of the time, you're eating whole, unprocessed foods that you would consider quote unquote healthy, I guess. That's the best way to describe it. Like lean protein sources, whole grains, fruits, vegetables, healthy fats, nuts, things like that. Most of the time, you're getting your calories from those sources. The rest of the time, so 20%, you're eating whatever you want. If that is chicken, rice, and broccoli, that's what you enjoy, by all means, go ahead. If you want to have a slice or two of pizza, by all means, go ahead. Whatever you want. It gives you that flexibility to know that most of the time you're following an approach that's going to support performance, support recovery, and support all the things you're trying to achieve, but you also have that freedom to enjoy yourself. And the key here is not feeling like you have to reserve it for one specific day. It's not only for Saturday, it's not only for Sunday, it's not only for Friday nights. You can have a slice of pizza on Tuesday and be totally fine. You can have some ice cream on Wednesday, be totally fine. You can have some gummy worms on Monday morning. Hell, you can have breakfast. I don't care. Just make sure it's in moderation. And if you do that, you'll be in a great spot. Now, if you're looking to get started with your own nutrition plan, you don't really know where to start, the free resource I linked down in the description below will help you out a ton. It's a free 2-3 minute quiz that'll help you pinpoint exactly what your biggest weakness is with your diet and your training. And based on the result of the quiz, you'll get a free 3-day video series taking you through exactly how to fix it. So check that out. It's hoopsquiz.com, link down in the description below. And as always, like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you're new around here, and I will see you in the next video.